All right, in this lesson we are going to practice solving two-step equations. All right, I want you to follow along on your sheet and solve these along with me. So when we're solving an equation, our main goal is to get the variable all alone, no matter what side it's on. So I'm going to focus on dealing with the with negative 5n last, and I'm going to get rid of everything around the variable term. So, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to write, I do railroad tracks, so whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other to keep the equation balanced. Alright, so I'm looking and I see that my variable term is negative 5n, so I'm going to subtract or add away whatever is around the variable. And I see positive 9 or plus 9. So I'm going to do the inverse operation, or the opposite, to get rid of plus 9 or positive 9, and I'm going to subtract 9. So if I subtract 9 from this side, I have to subtract 9 from this side. Alright, so now Alright, so now what we have here, positive 9 and negative 9, well, that's what we wanted to do, make that go away. Poof, that turns to 0. So now on this side we are left with negative 5n, and 39 minus 9 is just 30. So I'm going to put my equals mark. Now, negative 5, if it's with n, it's multiplied to n. So we're going to do the opposite of multiplication to get n all alone, or turn n into 1. So if we took negative 5 and divided by the exact same thing, negative 5, we will turn that into the number 1. So, but whatever we do to this side, we have to do to the other side. So I'm going to divide by negative 5. So now on this side, I'm left with n. A positive divided by a negative is a negative. 30 divided by 5 is 6. So my answer is n is negative 6. I can check it by going up to the original equation, negative 5 times negative 6. Well, negative times a negative is positive. 5 times 6 is 30. And then 30 plus 9 is 39. So I know my answer is correct. Now you try this one on your own. Alright, let's see if you got the right answer. So let's solve the equation. I'm going to put my tracks, and I am going to locate the variable, so negative 4n. I want to get rid of everything around the variable first. So I'm going to look and I see positive 7 or plus 7, and I'm going to do the opposite. So I'm going to subtract 7 to make it 0, and I'm going to subtract 7 from the other side. So now we bring down, this goes away, poof. Now we have negative 4n equals 51 minus 7. Well, that is 44. So now I need to get the n all alone, the variable all alone. So how can I change the negative 4 into just positive 1 or 1? So since it's negative 4 is multiplied to the end, I'm going to divide. So I'm going to divide by negative 4 on both sides. And now, as you can see, negative 4 divided by negative 4 just turns into the number 1. So that will just turn into the number 1. So now all I have on this side is n equals 44 divided by negative 4. Positive divided by negative is a negative. 44 divided by 4 is 11. So n equals 11. Alright, so if I wanted to check to make sure my answer was right, I could go plug negative 11 in for n. So negative 4, that's the original equation that I started with. So negative 4 times negative 11 would give me, well, negative times a negative is a positive. Negative, or 4 times 11 is 44, and then plus 7 equals 51. 44 plus 7 is 51, So I know I did my problem right. Check. All right, so now for our next problem. 22 minus 6n equals 82. So I want to get, again, the variable all alone. So I look at the variable term, and it's not just 6n, but it's negative 6n. So I'm going to circle that, and I'm going to deal with that last and get rid of everything around the variable first. So I need to get rid of this positive 22. So I can, everything around the variable, I can add or subtract away. So I'm going to actually subtract 22 from this side and subtract 22 from this side. And let me make my little tracks too. So now, this goes away, poof. I can bring my negative 6n down. So negative 6n equals 82 minus 22, which would be 60. So now I just have the one term, and I have the negative 6n. So I need to get rid of the negative 6 and turn it into 1. So since negative 6 is being multiplied to n, I can do the opposite. And I'm going to divide by negative 6. So I'm going to divide by negative 6 on this side. This just turns into 1. So really I have 1n, or just 1, or just n, equals 60 divided by negative 6. So a positive 60 divided by a negative, positive divided by a negative is a negative. 60 divided by 6 is 10. So my answer is negative 10. All right, now I'm going to go back and plug in negative 10 to the original equation, 22 up here. 22 minus 6n equals 82. So I'm plugging negative 10 in for n. So now I have 22, well, negative 6 and a negative 10 times a negative 10 is a positive 60. So that should equal 82, and 22 plus 60 does equal 82. So 82 equals 82, and I know I did my problem right. All right, now see if you can try this one on your own. All right, so 15 minus 5n equals 45. So I'm going to locate where the variable term is and circle that because we want to deal with that last. So I'm going to get rid of everything around the variable term. So I see 15. So how can I make that 0? Well, I can just subtract 15. So a positive 15 and a negative 15 make 0. But whatever I do to this side of the equation, I need to do to this side. So negative 15 on this side. Poof, that goes away. Now I'm going to bring down my negative 5n equals, well, 45 minus 15 is 30. So now I need to figure out what to do to get negative 5 turned into 1. So negative 5 is multiplied to n right now, so I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to divide by negative 5 because I want to make whatever's within 1. So now I'm going to divide by negative 5 on the other side. So this becomes just 1n, or n. So n equals 30 divided by negative 5. Well, a positive divided by a negative is a negative. 30 divided by 5 is 6. So our answer is n equals negative 6. All right, now I'm going to go back and check my work. I got negative 6, n equals negative 6. So I'm going to plug that into the original equation. 15 minus 5n equals 45 is the original equation. So I'm going to plug in negative 6 for n. 15 minus 5 times negative 6. Well, negative 5 times negative 6. I have to do the multiplication first. So negative times the negative is a positive. Negative 5, or 5 times 6 is 30. So 15 plus 30 should equal 45. 15 plus 30 does equal 45. So I know I did my problem right. All right. next problem, make sure you're following along on your paper. We have x divided by 3 minus 4 equals 6. So I'm going to locate the variable term, and I know I'm going to deal with that last. So I am going to circle that and make my little railroad tracks. So whatever I do to this side, I've got to do to this side of the equation. All right, so I need to first figure out how to get rid of negative 4 or subtract 4, and I'm going to do the opposite. So I'm going to add 4 to this side. Whatever I do to this side, I do to the other side. So I'm going to add 4 to this side. All right, so now, poof, this goes away. That's what we wanted to happen. So I'm going to bring down the x divided by 3. And that equals, well, positive 6 and a positive 4. That's 10. So now I need to figure out how to get rid of what is under the x. So I look here and I see x is divided by 3. So I'm going to do the opposite to turn whatever's with x into 1. So I am going to multiply by 3, and since it's a fraction, 3 over 1. Whatever I do to this side, I need to do to this side. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply by 3 on this side. It's not a fraction here, so I'm just going to multiply by 3. So now, 3 dividing by 3 and multiplying by 3, they cancel each other out and turn them into 1. So now I just have x on this side, and x equals 10 times 3, which is 30. And we've solved our problem. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and check my answer. I got x equals 30, so I'm going to go ahead and plug that into my original equation. So for x, I'm going to put 30. So 30 divided by 3 is 10. 10 minus 4 should be 6, and 10 minus 4 is 6. So 6 equals 6. So we know we did our problem right. Now I want you to try this problem on your own. Make sure you show all your steps. Okay, let's check your work. We have x divided by 6 plus 3 equals 7. So we are going to solve for the variable, and we want to deal with our variable term last. So I'm going to get rid of I'm going to make my tracks. So whatever I do to this side of the equation, I do to this side of the equation. All right, so I'm looking and I have plus 3 or positive 3. So I want to make that 0 by subtracting 3 to both sides. Poof, that goes away, becomes 0. I can bring down my x divided by 6. That equals whatever 7 minus 3 is. So that gives me a positive 4. So now I'm looking and I have to get x all alone still, and it's divided by 6, so I want to do the opposite, and I want to multiply by 6. Since it's a fraction, I'm going to do 6 over 1. If I'm multiplying by 6 on this side, I need to multiply by 6 on this side. So I'm going to multiply by 6. 6 divided by 6 cancels each other out. They become the number 1, so I just have x left on this side, equals 4 times 6 is 24. So x equals 24. All right, let's check our answer. X is 24, so I'm going to plug 24 in for x. So I did that right here. 24 divided by 6. Well, that is 4. 4 plus 3 does equal 7. So 7 equals 7, and check. We know we got our problem right. All right, here's an extra credit question. So watch the video, then answer the question.